Hi everyone, and we are going to go ahead and get started with our first lab for Engineering 115, which is going to be creating these pairs of gears that we're going to visualize and create in Autodesk Fusion 360, and then eventually, if you would like to, 3D print it as well. So we're going to go through all these steps and show you how to make this design. You can choose to do some of these aspects of it and try out others and obviously explore. So first thing we're going to need to do, the nice thing is that Autodesk Fusion 360, you can utilize it if you're a student. So for example, do student Fusion 360. It kind of shows you how you can download it, but we can kind of go ahead and click here. Basically, we can get it for educators, so we can download for education. And then we can click on students, and it'll show you how to get started. So you can download it. I believe that for students, you can see get products. We can go ahead and find the products, and we should be able to. Here we go. Now it's started. So we can go ahead and click here. And basically, you're just going to sign up for an Autodesk educational access. So you'll put in the information, it'll verify, you'll have to go through those things. And the cool thing is once you have this, we're going to then go to, you don't need to, obviously you can download this on your personal computer, but if you're using school access, there's actually Fusion 360 Cloud. Or basically browser access, excuse me. Browser access. So you can actually get access to the browser. So you can just basically open it on any browser, and all you have to do is just sign into your account. So I'm going to sign into my password, sign in, and then you'll just click on Launch Fusion, and you'll be ready to go. So this is going to basically load up. Sometimes it'll go quickly, sometimes it'll take a little bit, but those are kind of your first steps. So watch this video a little bit slower, and we'll try to provide some links as well to help you get going. So, all right, we will come back once this is loaded and get ready to start drawing. All right, everyone. So while you can work on the browser, sometimes it could be beneficial to actually use it on the app, and you could use that on your computer, and we're going to try to get that installed for you on the campus computers as well. But I'm just going to save this as Stymo, Engineer 115, Gears, F24. It's good to kind of get in the habit of starting to organize and basically save a lot of your materials as well. So first thing I'm going to type in is S. I'm going to look at scripts, and I'm going to add in a gear. And in this gear, we're going to have module 2. We're going to keep these degrees the same. We're going to have 32 teeth in these gears. We're going to put a value of 0.2. Let's give it about, let's just go for 0.25 for the backlash. 0.2, 0.25, I shouldn't make too big of a difference. It could be even 0.15. The root fillet radius, we're going to keep at 0.9 to give us a pitch diameter of 64. The gear thickness will be 5. The hole diameter will be 6. And that should give us our first gear. So we want to create a 2-to-1 ratio for our gears. So I'm going to create another gear, S, scripts, just like we just did. That's your first, this momentous occasion. This is your first design, your first part, basically. So let's actually flip over here. Let's go ahead and turn around, even though we're nice and symmetric. So I'm going to click S, scripts again, in add-ins, click on our spur gear, and then we're going to create our second one, which is going to have 16 teeth, same backlash, different radius, but the same thickness and all those good things. So I want to now take this gear and I'm going to move it, right-click, move, and I'm going to translate it first, 16, the radius of the small gear, plus 32, the radius of the big gear. And you see these little circles kind of line right up on each other, so that's great. And we want to rotate around an axis, 11.3 degrees, so that those gears line really nice up. I could zoom in using my the roller on my mouse, and we can see that these circles just right line up and touch each other, which is just beautiful and perfect. Fantastic. So let's go ahead and we can start to build another component that we're going to need here because we want to put these on a base. So that's kind of our goal here. So actually, what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to actually go to the bottom. So we've been working on the top. I'm going to click on the bottom here, and I'm going to go ahead and create our design. So I'm going to click here. Actually, keep these. But I'm going to go ahead and add a new component. We're going to create that component as our base. So I'm going to create a sketch. I'm going to click this face. That's the one. I'm going to capture those positions. I'm still on the bottom. I'm going to create a circle just at the center here. And I'm just going to, it doesn't matter how big it is. We want to make it a little bit nice. So like 74-ish is pretty good because we don't want to make, I don't want to say waste, but we don't want to use too much material when we 3D print. You can make this about 45. You see that I'm kind of doing this fairly rough. And it's because there's a lot of cool features. So for example, I want to actually create a line that connects this circle to this top circle right here. I want to create a line that goes from kind of the same position here roughly to over here. But I want to make sure that these are tangent. So actually, I'm going to just click on this and the line. And then boom, you see this constraint makes the line tangent. And the same thing here and here. And then I'm going to do the same thing, circle, line, make sure we're all good and tangent. All right, so now that we have all of our, sorry about that, the computer freaked out a little bit. We have our lines tangent now. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this. I'm going to do a window select, and I'm going to, whoops, not do that. I'm going to undo that. I'm going to, actually, should I finish this switch? Here we go. There we go. I want to click on this, and I want to, actually, I am going to go ahead and finish the sketch. And I'm going to go ahead and click on this. I'm going to extrude, and I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this system. So I want to extrude, I want to extrude such that we're actually going to do an offset of, sorry, it's looking a little strange here. So this base I want to extrude, and I want to do an offset. Actually, let's go back. Sorry, one. Fantastic. Okay. So I want to select here. So I'm going to do an extrude. We want to go, actually, we're going to set our direction as this, as down, but we'll go ahead and go first. We're going to do an offset of -3, and we're going to do a distance here of -3 as well. And we're going to go down. The reason why we're doing this offset is to give us a little space. You see the space now we have between our gears and this. And the beautiful part is you see still at the top, we're still printing there. So, fantastic. So, let's go ahead. We'll approve that. And beautiful. So, now what we have to do, and we're going to go from a top view here, we have to click on a plane and we're going to do a projection. So, we need to project this and we need to project this feature. These two basically circles. We're going to project it down onto our base. So we're going to do that. Then I'm going to hide this, and we're going to do an offset, and we're going to offset this and this. Actually, we'll do that later. We're going to offset about -0.4. It's basically to give our gears a little bit of wiggle room. Gosh, I'm even tempted to do -0.5. But let's go ahead and do -0.4 just to kind of be here. And it's just, this is more for the 3D printing aspect of it. So -0.4, fantastic. Now what we're going to do, so we've offset these, we are going to then extrude and we're going to extrude here and here, and we're going to extrude these up. Fantastic. And we're going to extrude them about 15. I'm going to extrude them about 15 millimeters. Let's go take a peek here. Yeah, 15 millimeters. And we can do that right here. So now we've got our base, and we have those things jutting out. So this is good. But we want to give it a little riser for our for basically for this to sit on. So we're going to do again. We're going to do another offset. Let's pick the plane. We will pick here, and we will pick here. Actually, let's do that first. So we're going to do this, offset this by 10. We're going to do another offset of this feature by 5. We are going to extrude each of these, the 3 millimeters, because that's the same as that offset we had from extruding our base. So we're going to extrude that a distance 3 here. And that's going to give us a little bit, and we'll actually turn this on here. You see it gives it, we're just sitting on top of that now. Nice little room, right? Where we're just sitting on top. Give us a little space so we can spin. And we should be good to go. Beautiful. Now, let's do something a little bit nice and fancy as well. One of the things is sometimes we want to save material in our prints. So we want to remove some material in this large gear here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a sketch on this plane, on that material, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a couple things here first. So first, I'm going to create just something that's a little bit almost as large as this, but not just quite, so you can kind of see. So I'm going to do an inner circle here, and then I'm going to also do an outer circle that goes pretty far to the outer edges here. I'm going to also create one center line that I'm going to use for, basically, I'm going to use this as like a mirror line, so it's not a huge component here. But now I'm going to take the, stop. I'm going to undo that one for sure. All right. Again, things always happen. So now I'm going to create a line here where I'm going to remove some of the material. So I'm just going to connect here to here from those points. I'm now going to use this function mirror, and I'm going to mirror this feature around this mirror line, and then this whole feature, the two of these, okay, and now I'm going to use create circular pattern, and I want these two objects to go around this center point. And I can just use here, it doesn't matter. And I want 4 of them, and we can rotate those around. Beautiful. And now I can actually delete this line. And now what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to go here, 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 control, and I'm going to extrude. I'm going to just move myself a little bit here. And what I'm going to want to do is I want to extrude all the way through the bodies. And I want to go the other direction. So -5 should get me through. Unfortunately, so here we're going to do, I'm going to just use a little trick here because we don't have that many objects. I don't want to cut all the way through where it's affecting that plane. So, I mean, you could just do a minus, here, but you see actually it's going to, so I'm just going to cut the body that's just the spur gear. So I do that, and I can go ahead and I can see, yep, material's been removed. Beautiful. Now, one more thing we can do is we want to make it a little bit, and you can cut and remove more, again, it's just kind of at your discretion. And again, there's lots of things that you can do. You can kind of make those bevel cuts a little bit more, kind of beveled here on the sides, but that's for another class. One more thing I want to do is I want to kind of customize this a little bit. So I'm going to make another sketch. I want to make it on here. on this surface, and I'm going to create text. And I want to create my text. I'm going to move this palette here. I want to make it basically from here to here. And since we are very fortunate to be members of Cal Poly Humboldt, CPH, you can do some cool things with like actually inserting images and that as well. Actually, let's do. What should we do? Let's just keep it simple. Again, you can customize this. You can make it, you know, whatever you would like. And I'm going to move this a little bit. I'm going to do this centered, and then I'm going to do OK. And I'm going to do one more. Text, create text. I'm going to do the same thing here. I think I'm going to go at the bottom. I'm going to write my initials. I'm going to do JPS. Bold. 5 looks pretty good here. I may want to drag this down a little bit. Okay. Let's see if I can. Yeah, just move it a little bit, just so that we're away from it. And before we leave, I'm going to click on this. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to click E for extrude. And we're going to extrude this down just a little bit. So we're going to extrude it down. Let's just say, let's extrude down -2 millimeters. So we'll extrude it down. Now we're going to have an engraving here once we print. So this is fantastic. This really is the end of your assignment. It's a really, really good, nice feature. Make it customized. And if you want to 3D print, we can 3D print this as well. And we'll show you kind of some of the additional steps that we have to take. And we can do that with your instructor, and we can kind of contact people to get you moving there. Now, one thing you can kind of think about, though, and consider is, well, like, you know, this is going to spin. It might be nice if we have kind of like a nut that can secure these two. So one thing we may want to do is we may want to thread, oops. Let's not just do exactly the top view. I'll just move it over here. So I may want to take this and this control, and I may want to add some thread to it. So I'm going to make a thread, and then I'm going to take a top view now, and I want to create, I'm going to do a sketch. I want to do it right here. And I'm going to create a polygon. And I'm going to do a circumscribed polygon. I'm going to make it just enough where I want it to just basically equal this. And then I can do a constraint here where we can make this perpendicular. Actually, excuse me. Let's see. There we go. We can kind of switch the location of that nut. And I may want to now extrude this nut. And we can extrude it, let's say, about 4 millimeters. Let's see. Yeah, why not? Let's say 4 millimeters. Yeah, I think that's good. So we can click on that, and then now what I can also do is I can click inside, and I can go ahead and say create, and I'm going to do create a thread. And that thread is going to match the thread here. So I can click that here, and I can go do the same thing over here, and I'm going to say I want to create a sketch. I want to create a circumscribed polygon. I'm going to start here. I want to just hit the outside right there. Perfectly. I want, it's already there. I'm going to extrude. I want to extrude this guy. I want to extrude it 4. Whoops! That's not good. want to extrude distance. Do that 4 as well. And then I want the inside. I want to get 6 here too. On the inside, I want to create a thread. And that may be nice just to kind of lock it in there and give you some of that freedom to do that. So, and then you can go ahead and start the process to print these. So, there we go. That's your design. You don't have to do those other steps. You can kind of stop there. But congratulations for the first step of your first lab done in the Department of Engineering at Cal Poly Humboldt. If we do the mechanical first. If not, you'll get to do this another time. So thanks, and then watch for the next video in terms of how we actually save and are going to print these parts. So see you then. Thanks. Bye.